Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a podcast that explores Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jim Fowler, executive pastor at Redeemer Fellowship.
And Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas.
God bless us.
Everyone. This is your Christmas vibe just for you.
Yeah, man. Like, this is...
We've never used...
Nope.
This drop before.
Never.
On a Thursday
On
episode.
a Thursday. It's never happened.
Or a Monday.
Or a Monday? Nope. But on the private feed, where our All Access members get all the special goodies.
Okay, they heard it once.
Okay. Still.
Yeah.
Still
There's going to
counts.
be a rush of signups. They're like, oh, I missed that.
Yeah. I can't. I want to hear this jingle again. So, we're just days away from Christmas. I mean, like days.
Yeah.
Just a few days.
Oh, yeah.
So, you will be ready at this point. You said earlier that when I asked you, are you ready for Christmas? He's like, no, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Why not?
Yeah, I just haven't gone shopping.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know you haven't gone shopping for everybody.
All right, man. You ain't got to talk about that.
I'm not talking about anything. I'm just saying, like, I think you intended to give some gifts to people and you haven't gotten them gifts yet, which is fine. It's fine.
No. I feel like I gave an appropriate gift.
I don't know. Appropriate, I think, is the wrong word.
No, I mean, it was definitely more than the amount.
I gave you a gift. I gave you a Christmas gift. First of all, we didn't specify an amount. We
Yes,
just
we
said,
did.
no, we didn't.
I mean, my gift was more.
And not than that.
Value-wise,
I don't think so.
I think so.
And I think that we just said, hey, don't go crazy. It's small. It's a small thing. And so, I went and got you something nice. It's pretty cool.
It's very nice.
And you got me nothing.
No.
Which is great.
No.
Which was awesome. You got me nothing.
No, I got you 20 pounds.
You reached into your wallet and gave me 20 pounds, and which was, very thoughtless of you.
What do you mean? That's like, what is that? I don't know. $22.50 now?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy.
I don't know. I have no idea.
You were asking the wrong guy. We opened up. Well, I was going to say we opened up presents on the Banter of Truth episode.
No, I opened up a present.
We opened up present.
we opened up a present.
Is what we did. It was a good time. It was a good time.
I quite enjoy this gift.
The best gift that you could have ever given me? The best gift that you could have ever given me was your mispronunciation.
No.
Your mispronunciation of the all-terrain armored transport. Is it if you don't know what that is? Like, I'm not a Star Wars guy. Like, I grew up going to the movies, in the late 70s and 80s. Saw the first three, of course. And so I grew up with those toys, right? I had the old action figures, Millennium Falcon, and I had what's called the AT-AT.
I think you mean AT-AT.
Yeah, that's what your son said. I saw your son playing with one. I go, hey, what you got there? And he goes, it's an AT-AT. And I was like... no, it's not. That's an AT-AT. And then I went and confronted Jimmy about this because this is a very big problem. We were at your Christmas party.
Oh, that's right.
And we were at your Christmas party, and I was so disturbed by your son's ignorance that I went to you to let you know that your son is ignorant. And then you said, what? It's an AT-AT. And then I realized, whoa, this is a much bigger problem because you are
is this a church
leading
discipline?
your kid
This is
astray.
a church discipline issue?
No. It's just a public shaming situation.
Oh, gotcha.
So I was really disturbed, and Jimmy was 100% convinced. By the way, you accuse me of something that you do as well, and I've confirmed this with others. You accuse me of being the guy.
So first of all, confirming with others is unbiblical.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Why are you going and gossiping?
It's not gossiping.
Why are you gossiping?
No,
slandering.
I have to have two witnesses. I have to have two witnesses to come against you.
It depends on who it is.
Yeah. So
if it's my wife, I'll take that a little bit more.
Okay. So
if it's Steve McCoy, that's nothing to me.
So here's the thing. You accuse me.
It's Steve McCoy, isn't it?
You accuse me of not just Steve McCoy.
See, I knew it.
He's one of them.
But Steve's wrong.
But you've accused me of being defiantly positive, 100% confident, arguing about things when I'm absolutely wrong.
Yes.
And not giving up until it's like right in front of me with like footnotes and everything.
Yes.
And you do the same thing. You do the same exact thing.
I stand by your shame.
Yeah, and you do that very thing. You do it as well.
Nope.
Yep, yes, you do.
I might be wrong.
And no, you did. You absolutely.
I could be wrong.
No,
but not in this case.
And well,
this
that's the thing.
This is a generational divide.
That's what I found. I began researching. I began searching the internet and to see what people are saying.
See how triggered he gets? See how he is?
Turns out.
He can't let things go.
No, I can't let it go because it was so weird. I had never heard anybody pronounce it AT-AT. And so I started looking. And
wait, you've never heard anybody?
Never. I've never heard that a day in my life.
Wow.
So now I grew up the commercials. They were pronounced at in the commercials when you got the toys in the 80s. All that I remember.
Yeah, I don't believe Hasco.
So, but it's licensed by the Star Wars. Everything's got to go through Lucas.
Is it Hasco?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what Hasbro you mean?
Hasbro.
Yeah,
Darn
I don't know if it was Hasbro or not, but I just know that everything has to go through Lucas. So, anyways,
that's true.
But then I did see like there's a bunch of people online arguing about this, and it basically breaks down to Gen Xers calling it and above, but Gen Xers saying it's at, and then millennials saying no, it's AT-AT. So then I continued to read and find articles, and yes, Lucasfilms and George Lucas himself they do come out. I don't know,
George Lucas himself
10 years ago, I think it was. That it's pronounced at. We don't care, like whatever, but it is officially yes, it is at.
He came out 10 years ago and said,
yeah, he was asked
at.
Yep, Nerdist, the Nerdist podcast and the Nerdist website had a whole thing on it.
See, I didn't realize what had happened.
What's that?
That he hit his head in concussion.
Well, we know that he did. You remember Jar Jar Binks? Yeah, I guess I shouldn't trust anything that guy says.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just ruined my own argument.
He thought Jar Jar was a good idea.
Thanks a lot, George. Terrible movies. Oh my goodness. So that was my favorite. That was my favorite Christmas gift. Yeah.
Was it my shame?
Your shame.
Was it my shame?
Is my game.
About 40 minutes ago, when we went over.
What's that?
Gifts, and I had nothing.
Yeah, that's another. Anytime that you are wrong in some way, and I'm only right a little bit, that's a total win and victory for me.
No, that was I was wrong 100% on that gift.
But I'm just saying, like, even if you're only wrong 1%,
gotcha.
and I'm only right 0.5%, 100% win. Yeah. I just got 100% win. I love that.
That's what I'm like. I was like, no, the gift thing, I was definitely in the wrong.
Listen, I was hoping you wouldn't remember to do the gift thing. And I just like, oh, this will be better. Because I even wrapped mine.
He wrapped it.
And I wrote you a rude Merry Christmas message on it.
It was from the heart.
It was. Oh, man.
So what are you doing for Christmas?
I think I'm mostly going to gather the kids around and tell them stories of your ignorance and shame. That's going to be our new Christmas tradition.
Knowing your kids are going to be like, oh, Papa, please tell us more about how dumb Pastor Jimmy is.
Yeah, we don't do Elf on a Shelf. We do like Fowler is a failure. That's what we do. And it's a new story every day. I have to make a lot of them up, but still, it works. It counts.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, we'll do Christmas Eve at the church, and then we'll go home and we'll have some chicken wings. That's what we like to do. Have a big thing of chicken wings. And the kids will open up presents from Jen's bio dad.
Yep.
He sends gifts for the kids.
All right.
And then, so they'll open up those, and then we'll just kind of hang out, and then we'll go to bed, and then the kids will go to bed, and then we'll put presents out. And then, then we'll wake up the next day and have some breakfasty stuff and open up stockings and presents, and then some of the family will come over. It'll be chill though. It's a small gathering for us. Like Thanksgiving is big, Christmas is small. It'll be a relaxing day. What about you? You have a pretty sizable gathering.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen.
Why not?
Well, yeah, I think like my brother will come over.
Your dad in country? Not
yet.
So maybe he could be.
He could be. We'll find out. So no, there'll be some family coming over. So I still got to figure out what I'm gonna make for dinner. I tried like setting it up so it was earlier, so I could have like the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Didn't work.
What do you mean? You decide?
I tried.
You just decide.
I tried.
No, you don't try. You just do it.
No. Then my father vetoed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Dad can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then he won't show. Huh? Then you'll be mad if he doesn't show.
No, he'll show.
Oh, okay.
Oh well. Yeah. Like if he doesn't get in country. No, I'm just canceling the event.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Then I'm just gonna be like, eh.
You know what you should do?
What's that?
Just send everybody like Boston Market meals and tell them to stay at home and just enjoy. Here's my gift to you.
Hey
Boston
guys,
Market.
because of Omicron.
Yeah.
Out of abundance of caution.
Yeah. It's just want to be careful. I want to bless you.
Problem is, no one is gonna believe me. They all, though. That being said, so I think I could say it.
Yeah.
On Thursday. Yeah, for this. So my brother just had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like an hour ago. Like an hour and a half ago.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Had a baby.
Just today?
Just today.
As of recording
As
this?
of recording, yeah.
Wow.
And so,
Did they name him Omicron?
the Optimus.
Oh, that's better. I like that.
But it's a girl. And so we're still trying to figure out, what's going to happen. So I don't think he's going to be around.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't blame him. Newborn and everything, with everything going.
Yeah.
And my mom's in town.
Okay.
And she's quite
Yeah. What is she?
at risk.
Okay.
At risk.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we're going to be seeing her.
Okay.
So really it'll just be...
Why is she in town if she's not going to see anybody?
Well, she'll be with with my brother and the baby. And so I'm thinking we just might not see any of them for a bit.
A little FaceTime. A little Christmas Zoom call.
Exactly. We'll do a Christmas Zoom call.
Right.
And so we'll see because... so I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm sure it'll be good. I know you'll have a great time in your home, whatever you do. I know it'll be a
Yeah, I just got to figure out what to make. I'm just trying to go through different recipes.
Mm-hmm. I like a Christmas ham. I love ham. That's my thing. Give me.
I was thinking about it, but we just had ham for our CG Christmas party.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's do something different.
Yeah.
For
Whole
this one.
pig. Whole pig.
A whole pig.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't think I could do that.
Just a little baby piglet.
No, that'd be amazing. No, I don't think I've never done anything like that. So I'm still just trying to work through.
Okay.
What I'm gonna make.
Christmas goose. That'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be
You
nice.
could do that.
I think I could.
Do that and take pictures and show us. I love it when you seriously. I love it when you put your pictures up, man, because your food looks. I know it tastes good. I don't get to taste very much of it.
No,
but it's yeah. That's one of my things. I like to see what you're cooking.
You like to see what I'm cooking
on the Instagram? Yeah, man, it looks good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think.
So, one of the things that we've been thinking about is at Redeemer is how can we get better as a church, right? And because this past year especially in light of COVID and a lot of the things that have happened, we've been able to see and feel a lot of our weaknesses and areas where we're coming up short as a church. And a few of these things relate to the congregation and how the congregation can do better. But a lot of the things that we're focusing on have to do with what we as leadership need to be doing better.
Yeah, we're taking care of the things that we are actually in control of.
Right. Like, hey, listen, we not only have responsibility for these things, but we can improve. We can actually, control this stuff. And so we're working hard at that. I'm really excited about that. But I know a lot of people love their churches, but they want more for their churches. They want to see their churches grow and become strong. And so we've got 7 ways that you can strengthen your church. 7 ways that you as a church member can contribute to the overall health of your church. It's not just, hey, the elders or the leaders, they just need to get going and do their part.
Get their act in order.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. But even if you have the best leaders and you've created the best systems, if the congregation isn't doing their part, it's not going to result in any development or maturity as a church, right?
Yeah.
You got to have.
Well, I mean, we know of others like we could say it now, like Steve McCoy.
Yeah,
that fantastic, had a great plan, great vision.
Mm-hmm. Did the work,
tried to execute it really well. Is not a domineering or manipulative or
super patient for years,
and yet. The congregation
was like, nah.
We're just gonna go ahead and return to our vomit that we've been doing before.
It's nice and warm.
Just keep going back to it, and that's what we're gonna do, rather than embracing change and moving forward.
Do the work, take the risk. So we've got 7 ways you can strengthen your church. You want to do number 1? You want me to do number 1?
I'll do it.
Good.
Number 1:
be present and participate.
That's right. Go ahead, Joey.
Right. So, one of the things, it's the simplest thing to do, right? If you want your church to be strong and healthy, if you want to make a difference, if you want your church to make a difference, then you've got to be a part of it, which means you got to show up. You know what I mean? Didn't you share a meme with me about Home Alone?
Yes.
Yeah, it was what's his name?
Oh, hold on.
Eddie Haskell? I forget what his name.
Who?
No, the little kid.
Hold on, here you go.
Little Dwight Schrute.
Kevin. So
Kevin McAllister.
It goes, 8-year-old Kevin McAllister was left home alone for 3 days, and he still made it to church. So yes, you can make it to church this Sunday.
you got to show up. And I know that there's a lot of competing issues and agendas and sports and football games and all that stuff. But really, as Christians, we need to prioritize the gathering of the church on the Lord's Day. It needs to be number one. And there's going to be times when you're out of town or there's going to be things that come up. But in general, yes, we really do expect the people, and we as Christians should value it so much so that we are there, and not just there, but they're on time.
Oh, what is with that?
Listen,
can we talk about that?
Well, let's talk about that.
Let's go ahead and talk about that.
Because here's the thing. Not everybody, because I'm never late, but you're going to be late sometimes.
Hold
That's
on.
okay.
Okay,
sometimes you're going to be late.
I'm going to go ahead and say something from Sunday.
Oh, say something from Sunday. Go ahead.
I sit up front when I'm preaching.
Yeah.
Right? I always sit in that one spot, and I'm there, and so I'm waiting for the service to begin. And
is this first service or
first service? Yeah. First service. And Krista comes up to me. And she goes,
she's doing the announcement.
She's doing the announcement. She's like, there's like 2 people here. Do you want to wait 5 minutes and we'll give you more time? I go, nope.
We don't do that.
We don't do that. We're going to go ahead and start so that we end on time because we still have to reset and get everything ready. That's not fair to the worship team and the volunteer teams. If they don't have their time to get ready to restage.
Absolutely.
For second service. And I'm like, and people got to learn. I mean, you saw even at my dinner party, right? I was like, you guys are here. I know we're waiting on a couple other people, but we're starting.
Yeah.
We're eating.
Time to go.
Let's, Pastor Joe, can you pray?
And so nobody should feel that we're calling them out. This isn't even about Redeemer. This is about churches in general. But
I see you.
So it's like, if you're late, like whatever, we're not necessarily talking about you because you're late. But if you're always late, then maybe you should work a little harder at not being late, right? You make it a priority because it does make a difference. Just think about the guests that are there when they walk in. They're likely to be there on time, if not early.
Yep.
And ain't nobody there, it gets a little awkward. So show up, be present, be on time, participate, like be a part of it, and just be consistent. Right?
Yes.
Listen, some churches have a lot going on. There's a lot of events, a lot of gatherings. So you do need to prioritize all of them and figure out what are the most important things.
And I think what's key there is not only are you, like, as an individual, you've got that freedom, but I think sometimes leadership does have expectations on people.
Yeah.
Depending upon your role or place.
Yeah.
They have expectations, and some are legit and some are unfair.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Like, I don't want to give any examples. But sometimes people do add extra things and expect that, this group of individuals should be at everything. And if they're not at everything,
right.
And I don't allow that. I'm like, I'm not going.
No, you don't have to be at everything. But listen, the gathering on the Lord's Day,
that one, I'm there.
You got to be, listen, like even with my kids, I'm very sensitive to the idea that I'm a pastor.
Yeah.
And my kids are pastors' kids. And a lot of kids get really run through the ringer. And so
Yes.
I do not put a lot of pressure on them to be at stuff. But they do we're going to church on Sunday. Like that's happening.
Yes.
That is law.
We are going.
We're going, you're going. And although Eli missed his alarm again.
Ooh.
Eli.
He's gonna get it.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, hey, bro. If you had to work that morning, would you oversleep? Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. We're going to talk about it. So,
and now Dad's going to talk about it in public,
on air, on Sunday morning from the pulpit. No, I don't do that. So yeah, man, just listen. You want your church to be strong? Be present, participate, show up, be on time, be consistent.
Number 2, you want your church to grow and be healthier, and you want to help strengthen it. Be supportive.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It is a really good idea. With words of encouragement, right? Let people know if you are blessed by their ministry.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, it is awkward as a pastor, as a preacher, to hear people when people encourage you. But it is nice. It is nice. It is awkward, but it is nice to hear that. But it's not just the preaching pastor that needs to hear these encouraging words, but let other teachers know, like the Journey kids or children's ministry or what do you call it, youth ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Let those individuals know how, man, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing, the impact that you're making in the life of my child or in my teen. Let your small group leader know.
Yeah.
Let them know. Yeah.
They're putting time, effort, and work. They care.
It's not just like we show up and wham, bam, let's do this.
Right.
There's a little bit of time and stuff that goes into it, a little bit of prep time, to get ready for the evening. And so let them know, right? And if you're part of the women's ministry or the men's ministry, let those teams know.
Yeah.
Because it's hard sometimes. You don't get feedback and you wonder what's working, what's not, what do we need to change, what do we need to strengthen? And so letting those teams know how
this was
going.
good. This was even listen, if you I remember Jen and I were visiting a church, and and I'll be honest, no one said anything to us. No member, nobody said boo to us. This happens at most large churches that we go to. People don't greet us, but they have greeters that are not paid. I'm sorry. We have volunteers that's their ministry. They're going to meet people. And at those large churches, they have systems in place so that you are greeted. And that's happened at one church that I went to with my wife and kids. And we were sure to leave a note and say, you know what? Your greeters were wonderful. They were friendly. I didn't feel like they were just doing a job. They weren't just ushering people around, directing traffic. They seemed genuinely excited that we were there. They greeted us. They asked if, how many times we had been there. So even if it's a greeter, it doesn't have to be, the preacher. But if you are blessed, if you sense wow, that was really well done, say something. It can go a long way.
I think, absolutely. But along with, words of encouragement, you can be supportive by financially giving.
Dollars of encouragement.
There's words of encouragement and then dollars of encouragement.
I know that sounds bad, but
no, because when you give, you let them know I value you this many dollars worth.
I thought you were going to say, because when you give, then you live.
Oh, and no. I did an Office sort of reference.
Oh, is that what that? Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, Michael Scott's I gave Ryan an iPod, and here she gave me this oven's mitt. It's she loves me an oven's mitt's worth.
But giving financially to your church is an important thing. It's something that we see the early church doing, right? They took up a collection, they took up an offering to support the work of ministry, to support their leadership, to support their missions.
And notice who died for not giving.
Well, they gave.
Not enough.
Nope.
All right, please don't take that as I don't mean that seriously.
I do.
No, we do not mean that seriously.
You're going to die. Yeah, Ananias and Sapphira, they died for just lying and being crooked. Yep. So yeah, it's not about everybody giving the same amount or anything like that. Yeah. But it's about giving sacrificially and generously.
That's right.
As you are able, as you are led, right? So I think that and increasingly it's going to be important for us to talk about it because there's been so many oppressive bullying tactics applied to tithing by a lot of Southern Baptist big churches in particular that I'm aware of.
And then they have so much money they put it in a wall in the bathroom.
Well, that's not a Southern Baptist church.
No, I know, but I'm just sometimes you just have so much money you just put it behind walls.
And that was just for his teeth whitener. That, honestly, all of that money in the bathroom wall, that's why it was there.
All 600,000?
Yeah, it's in the wall because he has to whiten those teeth all the time. Got those big chompers, man. They got to look good.
Choppers.
Yeah. So I think we're going to need to be able to encourage that in a compassionate way, in an exciting way. And I'm really grateful for how our announcers do that from the front, right? When they're doing that, like Krista or Dave DeHaan or whomever, they always do a really good. Jen Mon does a great job.
David Cook.
He's been doing that now. Yeah, that's right.
Do you not know who's up there?
I don't pay attention. I'm usually late.
That rolls beneath Joe.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, it was funny because I saw one family member, a father and his son, and we have an offering box in the back, right? And he took the offering box off the table and put it on the floor. I'm watching, what's he doing? And he did that so his son could come over and put some stuff in there. I was like,
that's cute.
That's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right. So yeah, be supportive, man. You just be actively, consciously supportive. Number 3. If you want church to be healthy, stronger in 2022, then if you have a problem or if you see a problem, say something.
Yes.
There's a difference between constructive criticism and a critical spirit. Some people just like to complain and I don't like.
Why don't you do it this way?
Why do we sing so many songs?
My last church was like this.
Yeah, I don't understand. Charles Swindoll, when he preaches, he does okay. Fine, but that's a critical spirit. But constructive criticism.
Why aren't you shooting T-shirts at us?
Why doesn't our kids' baptistry work like a fire truck and shoot confetti out of it? There's a Southern Baptist church that does that. How about I have a slide into a fire truck with confetti cannons?
In March, should we just turn the whole stage into a basketball court, college basketball court, because of the Final Four?
I think we could. And then for Easter, just turn the whole stage into the womb of the Easter Bunny, out of which people are born into a new life of holiday cheer.
You went a direction.
I went hard pagan.
Dude,
That's what I did.
I was thinking you were going to do that one church that got the helicopter was dropping stuff.
Well, lots of churches do that, yeah.
Man.
And listen, I get the sentiment between like, hey, we're going to drop a bunch of eggs and bless the community. It's fine. But I know how much those helicopters cost. Actually, we did research on it. It's like, not that we were going to do it, just curious.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, maybe allocate some of that, but whatever. So if you have a problem, say something. And here's the encouragement. Address the problem directly, but humbly, right? If you say nothing, it always leads to more trouble.
Yes,
because you harbor it, other people see it, and nobody's saying anything. And listen, sometimes people that are responsible for the area where you're seeing a problem, sometimes we're so close to it, we just don't see it.
So by addressing it,
yes,
then maybe it should lead to a solution.
Yeah. Bring it up, talk about it. And I've been grateful for people who have come to me and said, hey, I see something here. It doesn't seem right. What are you thinking? And, and I think Colson, he's done that to me. He's like, hey, man, I've seen something here. I don't know. He's very humble about it. And I was like, bro, you're absolutely right. Like, that's a great thought. Thank you for that. Yeah. Now I can address it.
Yep.
Like,
here we go.
Then, so you gotta, and listen, if you're going to do this, talk to the right person.
Yes.
You don't want to be just grumbling to everybody else. It can be grumbling or gossip if you're just like venting to people around you.
No. I'm seeking counsel from 30 other people.
Yeah. Now listen, sometimes you do have to confirm that Jimmy is wrong about something. That's different. Now, then that's different.
So now all of a sudden
when it's related to Star Wars canon, yes, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it.
You are gossiping.
Yeah, but then not gossiping.
Grumbling.
Confirming.
You weren't confirming.
I was confirming and rejoicing in your error. And let's just also say this. Your unmet preferences,
what?
Those aren't problems. Like you might have a preference for like, oh, I really wish we would do things this way. Well, okay, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's a you problem.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a problem. If it's just preference, then you don't need to do anything with that, really. Because listen, I knew this guy. He was at a church. And this is preference, but it goes beyond that. It goes to a theological perspective and conviction. But he was like, "Hey, listen, I don't like that we do this in worship, right? And you allow depictions of Jesus, in the service in different ways, and I don't like it." And they said, "Well, okay, well, listen, we have a different conviction. This is how we run." But this guy got so bent out of shape about it, became angry about it, and became a whole crusade. And it's like, listen. Every church has its own convictions and confessions, listen. Sometimes it's a preference issue, and you can bring it up humbly and then let it go if it's a preference issue. But real problems have to do with: are we functioning biblically? Are people being missed? Are people not being cared for?
Yep.
Are people slipping through the cracks?
Yep.
Oftentimes the real problems have to do with people. Have to do with doctrine. But in general, listen, if there is a problem, address it directly to the right person and do so with a humble spirit. It'll help.
So another way that you can strengthen your church in 2022 is look for solutions to the problems.
Yeah, be a solutionary.
Be a what?
Yeah, solutionary. Maj Touré, African-American, Second Amendment rights advocate, grew up in Philly from the streets. He has an organization called Black Guns Matter, which is pretty awesome.
I am.
By the way, everybody, that is on my wish list. You can find that. You search my email at Amazon. You can find my wish list. Black Guns Matter. You can get that for me.
Can you send me that link?
Oh yes.
just send me that link. Send it to me now.
But he calls his followers. He calls the people that participate solutionaries.
All right, send me that link though. Yeah, I want that link now.
Black Guns Matter.
So, so you may not have the answer to the problems that you're seeing, but you should be looking for one.
That's good.
And I think that's the difference between just being critical and actually being constructive. Is the person that is trying to offer something constructive oftentimes is trying to think through, how can we find a solution? How can I, if possible, help towards that solution.
Some people don't want the correction; they just want the complaint. Like they just like that. They just and they wouldn't admit it, but that's how some people are, and we all do that at some point, right? Where it's more about me venting than it is about fixing something.
No. So I've been really blessed by hearing people that have had constructive criticism, and at the same time said, "Hey, I'm willing to be a part of that solution. Here's a couple ideas, and I'm willing to help if you want me to. I'm all in. I'm all in. I love Redeemer. I love the church, and I love this ministry. Let me, if it's okay, and we're aligned. I would love to be a part of that.
If you've got an idea, I'll help. Because they might not have the. So what can people do though? Like if you're saying like they should look for solutions to the problems that they can see, what can they do even if they don't have the answer?
Well, I mean, pray.
Yeah.
Pray, over the issue, over the problem, asking and saying, Lord, like I'm seeing this and I'm not exactly sure, how to handle it or what's the best path forward. Like I need your wisdom. I need your guidance. And so pray for the problem.
Yeah.
And then, in the midst of that, you're also still praying that maybe others would see the problem and maybe they've got a solution that they could bring to the table for this. So you got to be patient because these things don't happen overnight.
No.
And that's
very rarely.
I'm going on my soapbox here.
But go ahead, step up there.
Step up. Here we go.
Do you need a boost? Because you have short legs.
There we go. You ready?
You're tall now.
I know. Yeah, see? Here's my thought on that. Just because you said it and the leadership acknowledges it doesn't mean it's going to change in a week.
Right.
It takes time. It takes time because it's not just for a lot of things are not just an easy turn the switch sort of mentality, right? It actually is a whole process change. And for a lot of places, even like Redeemer, there's some institutional things that when a problem needs to be addressed, it has to go through and work its way, through the season. So it's not going to happen. And so I get frustrated when it's like, well, I told you this like 3 weeks ago and it still isn't.
Right.
I'm like, when I train a new employee,
right,
I don't expect that they're going to know everything that they have to do in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Sure.
I want to see them through a season, which are a packaging season, which is about 7 to 8 months.
Okay.
So after 7 to 8 months, then I know they've got it.
Right.
They're doing it. I think it's the same thing here. Is you have to wait for it to go through the system and to go through, and there's a lot of change that has to happen, a lot of mentality changes that need to go through.
Yeah. Well, think about it like this, like we just did on Banter of Truth for our All Access members. We talked about the Lord's Supper. And so let's just say somebody goes, hey, I think we ought to be celebrating the Lord's Supper more often. You were doing it once every other month, or once a month, or once a quarter. Yeah. Why don't we do it every week? And let's say that the elders or your church leaders hear that and they're like, you know what, this is a good idea. Well, implementing that requires a change because it affects a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
And so it's going to require a change in the budget. And even if you don't have to change the budget this year, it's going to cost more money. So where's that money going to come from? A lot of churches are on a very tight budget. Who's going to facilitate like the actual putting this together and pulling it off every week?
So now that team has to expand from once a month or once every 2 months to every single week.
Right.
So now you need to recruit more individuals for that. Your liturgy changes.
Yep.
So now your timing is off a bit, right?
What we want to do video services live. Well, okay, that's a great idea.
Great.
But you've got to have a whole team of people to run that.
Yep.
And you need a team of people that's big enough so that the same people aren't doing it every week.
Yeah.
So like one change requires a lot of different changes.
Correct.
So you have to be patient.
And then
that's
how do you then going along with this, depending upon when you do communion, right? So now are the kids in there for that?
Yeah.
Like, now how does that impact the children's ministry?
Mm-hmm. Are you going to bring them back?
Are you going to bring them
after
back
the message?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things to consider.
There's so much. And then cleanup. How are you going to do with it? Now you have that extra aspect of cleaning up, after the service. There's so much. There's so much.
That's what your point about praying and being patient are really well taken, because even when you see that there's a problem and you're looking for the solution, things take time. But you also,
even something. Oh, sorry, I'm just keep going. Because it's things that are like that you would think are just a flip of the switch. Online giving.
Yeah, why can't we just do online giving? Let's do that.
Yeah. Have it up and running by next week.
Right, just click.
It's not just click.
Just click.
No.
Just a button. You put it on the website. You're done.
No, you got to set up the thing, right? You got not only have to set that up, you got to link it to your account. Then you got to figure out who's going to be monitoring it because it has to be checked, right? But then
you have to export all the information.
You have to export the information from there into your other books so you could do your giving, and then it's got to be reported. How do you then have the system that reports it? Now, who's also going to see that then? Right? Because you still now have an extra team that is managing that. And for us, like as elders, like we don't know who gives what when. Right. Like we don't know that.
Jimmy does, but nobody else does.
No,
Jimmy
don't.
looks at everybody's giving.
I have no idea.
We've never looked at anybody.
I've never looked at anybody's giving at all.
He doesn't even look at his own.
No. Yes, I do. No, I don't actually.
Well, you kind of said it and forget it. Like I know what you do.
Said it and forget it.
But no, it's like, and then you got to figure out like, okay, so now this money, there's a charge.
There's a charge
that's associated with it. So every transaction, there's a charge.
So how's that going to happen? How are you going to? Yeah, okay, you got to put it on the website, right? There's so much that goes into it. It's not just flip the switch and let's go. There's always more involved than we think. And another thing I think with this would be if you're looking for solutions, if you go and you bring this up and the solution is kind of out there, don't be afraid to revisit the issue after some time with leadership, not to hound them, but just say, hey, how are things going? Because you know what? People get busy. Sometimes you put something on the back burner and you forget about it because like, I'll get to this next month because I've got some critical things I've got to deal with. And sometimes we need reminders. I'm never offended. And I have to tell ministry leaders this, hey, listen, if you're waiting for something from me and you didn't get it when you thought you would get it, please feel free to go, hey, Joe, where's that thing? I'm never offended because I will sometimes forget, and I just sometimes
only once in a great while. Some of all the times.
Every of the time.
Every of the sometimes. Is that a thing? All right, number 5.
Number 5, Joe.
You want your church to be strong next year, stronger than it is this year. Then you need to strengthen your relationships. Because the church is not an organization that sells you religious goods. It's not like going to the gym or the movies where you show up, you get your thing, and then you leave. I know some churches function that way, but they're not supposed to be that way. And some churches that don't function that way still have people that function that way in them. The church, the local church, right? That's a family. It's a fellowship. And to benefit from the church and to contribute to its health, you have to be connected to others through real relationships. You've got to know one another. We believe in the fellowship of the saints, the communion of the saints. It's something that we believe in. The church has always believed in that we're supposed to be together in faith, loving one another and serving one another. So, a couple of things. One thing you can do is you can find a small group of people that you can begin to fellowship with. Maybe your church has small groups or a Sunday school. Maybe you have we call them community groups. So look for that and try that. Maybe you might have to visit a couple.
Yeah,
because every group is different.
Every group's different.
Yeah, everybody wants to go to Jimmy's because it's the fun group.
And then they leave.
Yeah, and people want to come to mine, but we don't tell them where it's at. I don't want anybody to come. So, but find a group and try it. If it doesn't work, like just for whatever reason, try some different groups. And listen, if you're not even finding a group, or maybe you're struggling with that aspect of it, maybe your schedule doesn't allow it. In some cases, it doesn't allow it. Then just find one or two people that you can connect with.
Yes.
And once you have that, to strengthen those relationships, you have to work at really being yourself. So just being you. Don't pretend. Be transparent, right? And in that, you have to listen to other people. Like you have to invest in them means you care about them, means you want to understand them.
Yep.
And one of the best things that you can do is to look for opportunities to pray together.
Love it.
Whether that's at the coffee shop or in someone's living room or in a Sunday school class, but actually pray together, not some perfunctory, all right, let me just pray, and we just pray nothing, like whatever, but actually pray for one another. And I know it's good to pray for one another's worldly, earthly needs. Aunt Jessup's bunion is getting removed, and so is that a girl's name, Aunt Jessup?
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I had an Uncle Mutt and an Aunt Pooge for real, and so you're gonna pray for Aunt Pooge's bunion getting removed. That's fine. You should pray about that. But like we need to work on like sharing what we're struggling with, what our doubts are, what our hopes are, what our fears are, so that people can get in. And one of the things that's really important is just to make sure that you're finding the opportunities, creating the opportunities to spend time together, right? So you got your Sunday school class or you got your small group, great. But then like look for an opportunity to actually just be together.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ladies in the church. There are a number of ladies in the church that do this. That they will say, "Hey, listen, girls, I just want to have." They'll just grab a number of girls that they have relationships with. We just want to hang out. We're just going to have a party. We're going to have cheese and wine.
Yep.
Right, or whatever it is. We're just going to hang out. And I love that. Look for opportunities to spend time together. That's going to be critical to strengthening your church.
I really think that's key, right? Like you hit on that because oftentimes my struggle has been where our only times of gathering is for like quote unquote church work.
Yeah, official church business.
Official church business.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I really I long for, why don't we just have a relational time?
Yeah.
Let's just have time hanging out, getting to know each other, and
you work hard at that actually with your small group. I see you doing that. And for me, like as an introvert who, as an introvert, as a selfish person who sees himself as very busy and very weary, I really started to get out of the habit of creating those times myself, right? And so I might go to 1 out of 8 things that I'm invited to. But where am I creating that opportunity? And so even just this last week, and this is not a brag, this is an act of repentance. I just said, "Hey guys, I'm going to be here. You want to hang out?" And just invited a couple of guys, and
nice.
And 2 of them came, and we hung out, and it was great. It was really good, although we got into a whole thing.
Wait, what?
I'll have to explain it off air. It was like not us. There was a guy there running the place, and he was telling Brian couldn't do something, and Brian's like, "So why can't I do this?" And then the guy's like, "Well, because this is the reason." And Brian's like, "Well, that doesn't make sense because of these things. What about these 3 things?" And the guy's like, "I don't know, you just can't." And he's like, "But these 3 things you haven't addressed." It was like a whole thing. It was, but yeah, you got to spend time together, which means you got to put effort into that. And so if you're not ready to be the person creating it, then be sure that you're accepting the invitations.
Yeah, that you're at least participating in it. Right?
And then look for the opportunity to be the host, to be hospitable.
Number 6, serve with your gifts. Now, listen, you should be served by the church, right?
It's called a worship service, right?
Yeah, you should be served, but you should also serve the church, right? As you're being blessed, you should be able to bless others, right? Our mission is to make disciples. And so how are you contributing to that?
Right.
Like, how are you contributing to the disciple making of your brothers and sisters in Christ? Not just evangelism, but actually helping people grow in their faith,
right?
Week by week, right? So you got Sunday morning. You can, if you're gifted musically, right? Like you could be up there, helping out on the band. You could be a vocalist. I mean, maybe you're not there. Maybe you could do AV.
That's a critical need. People have no idea. Like audiovisual.
It's not,
today. You're not going to have worship at church of any size without
the AV team.
You got to have the AV team,
right? And
it's critical,
and making sure that it's actually done well.
Yeah,
right. Because it's not even just about the audio. Audio is really, really key, but the visual.
Yeah.
So having someone that knows how to hit the button,
yeah.
And it sounds very like demeaning, like, oh, they're just hitting a button, but no, timing.
No, you've got to be on.
You got to be on it. You got to be paying attention.
Stress associated with that.
Because sometimes the leader's gonna repeat. You're gonna go back, so you got to go back. You got to move forward. Like there's so much there that you have to be paying attention to because not nothing. There are other things that disrupt a service. A phone going off disrupts a service, right? But for the entire congregation that's focused on the visual.
The wrong slide
really throws things off.
Like, wait, what?
I don't. Why?
Nobody can sing now.
Yeah,
everybody's confused,
and everyone's just silent at that point, right? Go tell it on the hill. Like, I don't know what to say.
I forgot the lyrics.
I forgot what's going on. But yeah, you could help out with setting up things. You could help with tearing things down. You could be a greeter, an usher. You could maybe help out with communion setup.
All of that is critical.
All that's critical.
All that's very important.
Yep. And all of that is providing the opportunity for God's people to worship together.
You think like, I'm just setting up chairs. No, listen, you're creating the worship environment. Setting up chairs is a big deal. I'm not just trying to sell that. People volunteer. They do that stuff great. And we have to set up and tear down right now. But that's a critical ministry.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not being silly. If they're not set up, we can't sit down. If they're not set up right, it's going to be a mishmash of people being too close together or too spread apart. It's actually important.
Or not enough chairs, or not enough space, or too much chairs, too much space.
Yeah, greeters, man. Listen, a greeter who is warm and friendly and inviting, Listen, all it takes is a smile. Like, you don't have to be a beautiful person like me to be a greeter. I could be a great greeter just because I look so good. People just like to look at me. Yeah, I see people looking at me all the time with eyebrows raised real high. I know that they're looking at me, so they must be liking what they see. You don't have to look like me. But yeah, the smile, man, the warmth, that's what people need.
Yeah.
It's a big contribution.
Yep. But then not just like that, but there's also like teaching ministries, right?
Right.
You can help out in Sunday school with kids ministry, youth group. You can help out in community groups and even discipleship groups. Like these are all areas that you yourself can, if you're gifted in that, utilize that gift.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, mercy ministries, churches that are doing good works in the community, demonstrating love for neighbor, being an example of what a disciple is.
Yeah, just even helping out in administratively.
For sure.
There's a lot that goes in.
How things get done.
Exactly. You owe me.
Listen, I'm not administrative. I'm administrative. Okay.
Wait, what does that mean?
This means I'm manly in what I do.
What?
I'm not good at it, but I'm always manly about it. Yeah. Could tell.
Is that to say like administration is not a manly task?
No. It means that it's an important task that I'm not good at, but I'm administrative. I'm not administrative. I'm administrative. It's my way of sidestepping the responsibility of being good at organization. I'm not gifted in being organized, but I am good at being a man. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
No? Oh, you said okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you slide on this one.
Is that my Christmas gift?
That's your Christmas gift.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jimmy's gonna rebuke me later. All right, number 7, last thing. This is a simple thing, but man, we don't do it enough. Invite people to your church. You want your church to be experiencing some growth, some excitement. Bring guests to worship on the Lord's Day.
Yeah.
Listen, that might be their introduction to the gospel.
Yes.
Maybe you haven't shared the gospel with them. Maybe you have. But you know what? You know how it works. You share the gospel with somebody, and you can do it over and over and over again, and it doesn't stick. But sometimes in a different environment, they hear it in a different way, and things click. It's the way God works.
It just makes sense.
It could be the day of their conversion, bringing them to church.
Yes.
It might be their first time being in a healthy church where it might be their first time in a community where they're just accepted. I remember I walked into a church. First time I ever went to church, I was 17 years old, never been in church before. And I walked in, Slayer t-shirt, the long hair. And think of the 80s burnout, right? That was me. And I walked in with this family that had invited me, and everybody was super warm and friendly to me and legit, like, I can remember walking downtown in my little city, and with my friends, and there'd be a mom with her 2 kids, and she would put her kids behind her and kind of hide from us. And it was like
you're gonna grab the child and run off.
I was like, what the heck? Which we only did that a couple of times. So it was just like to be received and to just nobody look at me sideways, cross-eyed, like just somebody to not give me the side eye, just
to be treated as a loved human, to be
experience kindness.
Yeah,
it can be a really, really big deal. So look for opportunities to bring your friends and your neighbors. And you know what? If you start doing it, other people can start doing it. Like you could be the kickoff for a new normal in 2022 for your church. You can be the one that starts the trend of inviting outsiders to come inside and to hear the good news. Do that.
Love it.
Well, look, we want you to be hopeful for your church, right? We want you to be active in your church, and we should all be assured of the promise that Jesus said in Matthew 16, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it."
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts. You can follow us online on Instagram and Twitter @DocandDevo, or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head to the website, doctrinedevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast, or you can hit up the store, jofostore.com, and grab some gear. We got the fresh pot every Monday and Thursday. We have blog posts and video content over at the website. And we've also got, Joe,
what do we have?
All access exclusive content.
What kind of access do they get?
Well, they got Banter Truth on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And there's more.
What do they get?
Weekday Wisdom, Monday through Friday.
So the access that they get is to all of what we produce.
All of what we produce.
That's why we call it all access.
And you know how they get there?
How do they get there?
They go to doctrinedevotion.com/all-access to sign up.
You know what else they could do? If you're listening to this on your podcatcher, maybe you're in, say, iTunes or Overcast, you can subscribe to that feature right in the app. You can click the link, sign up right there, boom, 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 you're all set.
There you go. Later.